Hey everybody, Michael O'Hara here, founder of KB Communications, right in Sparta, New Jersey, 973-726-0722, servicing our customers for over 15 years with the best voice over IP communication systems, bar none, backed by GoToConnect. I've decided to make a series of short videos introducing you to our company, and I thought the best way to do that would be to start with the story of how I got into the phone business. So the year was 1979, and in 1979, I would have been 13 years old, and my dad had a trucking company. And the company was called MPO Transport out of Passaic, and he had a contract with AT&T. And in 1979, when you talked about the phone company, you were really talking about AT&T or one of its subsidiaries here in the Northeast. And one of those subsidiaries was Western Electric. And the contract my dad had was with AT&T to pick up old discarded telephones, so phones that needed to be repaired or phones that needed to be replaced. He would pick up those old phones and he would take them to the smelting plant for Western Electric out in Whitestone, New York. Now, this one particular summer, I was helping on the trucks, and we went out, me and a driver named Oxy, and Oxy was called Oxy because he was an ox of a guy, he was a big guy, and we were taking a load of discarded telephones to the smelting plant in Whitestone. And as we're unloading the bins from the back of the truck, one of the Western Electric guys reaches into the bin, pulls out a god ugly yellow wall rotary phone, and he tosses it to me. And he says, "Hey kid, see what you can do with this." And so the next Saturday that I had free, I went up to Radio Shack. All hail Radio Shack in 1979. If you couldn't find the answer there, there wasn't an answer to be found. And the gentleman that worked at Radio Shack explained to me how to wire up a telephone. So they sold me 100 feet of two-pair telephone cable, and I went home and I found the junction box down in the garage, and there were only 4 colors on the wires, so I was able to easily match that. And then I ran the wire up to my bedroom, and on the back of the phone, it still had the old wire on it, so I could see where those wires were screwed in, and I was able to put those in, and then I mounted the phone, picked it up, and lo and behold, I had a dial tone. I had a working phone in my bedroom at 13 years old, and I hung it so that you could lay in the bed and be on the phone and just talk to your friends. So that made me, two things actually made me the coolest kid on Woodland Ave in the summer of 79. And the first thing was that telephone, and the second thing was I had the Farrah Fawcett swimsuit poster, but that's a story for another day. Anyhow, I had a third thing that didn't make me the coolest kid. And that third thing was a 17-year-old sister named Lisa. And when Lisa saw that I had a phone in my bedroom where she could lay on my bed and talk to her friends for hours, Lisa did so. And in effect, she banished me from my very own bedroom. And to a 13-year-old Michael O'Hara, that would not stand. So back up to Radio Shack. And I explained my problem to the guys there. And they said, "Michael, what you need is you need this toggle switch. And you're going to put this toggle switch between the leads on the hot wire for the phone. In effect, you're going to open and close the circuit so that when you open the circuit, no dial tone, that phone will not work. When you close the circuit, dial tone, that phone will absolutely work." Well, I took it home, I spliced open the wiring harness, and I wired in this toggle switch, and I put it down below my bed so my sister could never find it. Ha 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 ha. And I looked at the phone, and I picked it up, and there was a dial tone. So I hit the toggle switch, and the phone went dead. And then I hit it again, and I got a dial tone. And I hit it again, and the phone went dead. So the next morning at 7:30 a.m. when I left for school, I toggled that switch. I picked up the receiver. The phone is dead. Success! My sister will now not be able to banish me from my room because she won't be able to use the phone. Well, a couple of days of this went by, and what would happen is I'd leave at 7:30 and I'd turn the phone off, and I'd come home at around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I'd turn the phone on. Now, on about the third day, I come home, and my mother's sitting at the kitchen table. My mother was always at the kitchen table, smoking her cool cigarettes and drinking her coffee. Anyhow, my mom's at the coffee table, at the kitchen table, and she says, "Oh, good, you're home. I have to go across the street and borrow their telephone. It's the darndest thing. Every morning about 7:30, the phones just go off, and then every morning around 3:30, or afternoon around 3:30, 4 o'clock, the phones just come on." So I had to come clean and admit to my mother what I had done. And actually, I did not toggle the hot wire. I had accidentally reverse wired the ground wire. So, what I was doing when I hit the toggle is I was grounding out every phone in the house so none of them would work. And I corrected this and I took it all off. And my parents made me take the phone down. Don't worry, folks, got another one later. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. And that lesson was if you don't want your 17-year-old sister evicting you from your own bedroom in 1979, don't wire a telephone there. Anyhow, it's more than 40 years later. I've learned a lot about wiring, and today I am the founder and the president of KB Communications, and we have over 100 customers in Sussex County alone who are so happy to have our phone service. In fact, in a recent survey of our customers, 100% of respondents said that they would recommend KB Communications to a friend or colleague. So, if you want the best voice over IP system backed by GoToConnect, which includes a license for GoToMeeting along with 80 other features, call me at 973-726-0722 or go to my website at kbcomnet, KBCOMNET, one M only, kbcomnet.com, or email me at michael.o'hara@kbcomnet.com. Come join our happy family so we can give you the same excellent service that we give our other customers.